Hi everyone, it's Dan from the Bitrise team, and I'm here to show you how you can use Bitrise Release Management to deploy your iOS app to the App Store. So we start off in the release management part of the Bitrise interface, where we already have two pre-configured apps. We are interested in our iOS app because we have a new build that we want to deploy to users on the App Store. For the purposes of this demo, we're going to assume that you already have a setup app and that it's connected to the App Store. The only thing that's left now to do is to take the latest build and deploy it. So we'll click on our iOS app, which will take us to an overview of the App Store releases. We can see all of our previous releases, their status, and their release dates. So our last version was 1.4, and we are ready now for 1.5. We'll start by adding the new app version, where we need to declare the version number. So this is 1.5. Next up, we have the entirely optional step of adding a description. This is purely used in the release management interface, so let the rest of the team know what this release was all about. So in this release, we fixed the big bug. Everyone on the team knows what that was. And the next step we have is to choose a release preset. So a release preset is essentially a template that comes with pre-configured steps. We, as an example, have a weekly release preset, which comes with various settings that we've already set up. This makes our life very easy if we have a high frequency of releases that all basically follow the same pattern. So instead of manually setting up your flow each time, you can just set up a preset and go through the flow very quickly. For the purposes of this demo, we're going to start with a blank release to show you the full power of release management, but please note that everything that you see can be pre-configured, so you only have to set it up once. So we're going to move to the next step, which is to select the release candidate. Release management allows you to take your builds from two places. One of them is through the native integration with the Bitrise CI, and the second option is to upload it via API. Let's take a look at how this works. We'll click on Configure, which shows us the option to select one of the two sources. So if you are bringing your builds from outside of the Bitrise ecosystem, you can do so by API. All you have to do is follow this guide and use the scripts, and then save your changes. This will allow you to bring in your builds from any CI, not just Bitrise. But if you like a smooth experience, you can use our native integration, which makes things very simple. You can simply select your release branch, then your workflow, and then you have the option to choose auto select latest build. When we enable this, release management will find the latest build and automatically select it as the release candidate. We could, of course, overwrite this and choose any build we want, or we're going to stick with the latest build, which is version 1.5. We are now ready for the next step, which is TestFlight. Bitrise Release Management is fully integrated with the TestFlight functionality of the App Store. So if you want to do some last-minute testing, you can do so directly from here. So we'll upload this version, and it's now ready for testing. We can see that we have the various groups that we've pre-configured. We can even submit it to review with external testing in our external testing groups. But let's say that we're quite happy with the status of our app and we're ready to advance to the next step, which is the approval stage. Now, the approval stage is entirely optional, but very useful. What you can essentially do here is pre-configure several tasks that you might want to run before you commit to the deployment. So as an example, we can add a new task and say that we insist on a QA check before we go live. We can also add a description. We can assign it to specific team members and add a due date, but we'll just keep things simple. We can also add a second step, which is final product check. And we have our checklist. Now, you can see that we can no longer advance to the App Store review, the next stage, without completing our approval step. So we might want to check in with the QA team, see if they're happy, and if they are, we can check it off. And then I, on behalf of the product team, can say that I'm very happy with version 1.5 and that it's ready to be shared with the world. With our two tasks now completed, we can advance to the last step, which is the App Store review. So we are in the App Store review. We are ready to submit with version 1.5, and we will be sharing this. Just a quick note, we have the option of changing various settings. We also have the ability to change the App Store metadata, so things like the change log, where we can see that we fixed the bug, and then we can change things like the app information. But we're happy with all of this, and we will submit our version for the App Store review. Now, this is a process that normally is in the hands of Apple and can take however long Apple wants it to. But because we are in a demo environment, I think we'll find that we've expedited the App Store review, and we are now ready for the actual release. Now, at the release stage, we have the option of configuring how exactly this release will happen. So we have the option of going with a manual release. We have the option of going with automatic releases that happen after the app review. We also can do phased releases. So we have the option of going with a phased release that will happen over a 7-day period. So instead of all of your users getting the update at one time, they'll get it in separate increments. We'll just go with immediate release and very happily release version 1.5 to the world. The release is in progress, and if we check in with our magical demo environment, you'll find that the release has been completed. This is how you release your iOS apps to the App Store. Hope this was helpful.